Mario is asking, for which kind of tests would you use XCUI test, Espresso, and Appium if you develop an app on Android and iOS? Would you recommend a mix of all three? And what are the upsides and downsides?
It depends.
That didn't take long.
Exactly. No. I'll give you a long explanation on that. It really depends on your setup in the company. So, for example, if you have a team working, let's say on a product, let's say on any kind of service, product service, and inside the team you have iOS, Android developers, as well as maybe web and backend developers, and you both or you all together work on the same feature. And depending who's writing the tests, it's important that you should align on the tool set and on the tooling itself. I mean, with Appium, for example, you can cover both Android and iOS. So maybe if the developers are not writing the tests in some way because of they don't want to or they don't like it to, so that's some other issues that you have to solve maybe. Maybe Appium is the way to go, because then you can decide on one central programming language. You can write the test in best case once for both platforms and then execute them on the app. If the app for sure has the same functionality, the same like navigation patterns and so forth, then maybe it makes sense. On the other side, if you have developers, for example, that are also keen in writing tests in their own language meaning Objective-C or Swift on the iOS side, or Kotlin or Java on the other side, maybe it's also helpful to introduce those tools, because then maybe you have the developers buy in more easy, because you don't have to tell them, hey, next week you need to write Python, or you need to write C#, and they say, oh, yeah, I don't know how to do that, I don't want to, because then you've already set the barrier, and they just ignore the testing itself, right? So that's why I would like for you, Mario, to go really into your setup, into your environment, and see how the developers are from the mindset, and then choose wisely, basically, right? And there's nothing against using all the three tools at the same time, but then on the other hand, you have to ask yourself the question, do you have enough time, first of all, to maintain all the tests, to write all the tests, everything that comes together, because sometimes it's not like writing them once and run them forever, because you need to maintain them for sure. So that's why you need to find the right balance for you and your setup, actually. And before you pick any kind of tool, you should rather focus on the problem. What kind of problem do you want to solve with the tool? Because it's not like, hey, we have an automation tool, now we don't need to test anymore, right? That's something that you should really get off everybody's mindset, because it's not the tool that is testing, it's actually us testing, us testers, developers, product managers, everybody can test with some basic knowledge on testing. And the tools, they should assist your testing activities, basically, and they should help you to free up time to focus on the real complex things that you need to test, and maybe they're not able to automate with any kind of tools that are out there. So first, concentrate on the problem. What do you want to solve? And then see how to get the developer also into the development of test automation, because then you have support from the team. They will understand your concerns, your remarks, and it's much easier for you to start something there. I hope that's okay for you, Mario.